Zoax.net. Lesson 30. Progress versus meter. Progress elements display progress bars that are designed to measure how close an action is to being completed. For example, a progress element might be used to indicate what percentage of a file has been downloaded so far, as we show here. In our first example, we have specified two progress elements. The first one has its value attribute set to 0.4. The second one is completely empty. By default, a progress value is between 0 and 1, with 0 corresponding to no progress and 1 corresponding to the completed progress. So the first progress bar marks a 40% complete task, while the second progress bar is considered indeterminate. Opening this document, we see a 40% full progress bar and one with an animated marker that moves back and forth. The second bar is the result of not specifying a value and can be used to indicate that something is in progress but that the progress is unknown. Our second example contains a more typical example of a progress element. First, we have put a label before the progress element to specify what is being measured. In this case, we are downloading a file. We have also specified a max of 1000. This changes the progress value from being between 0 and 1 to being between 0 and 1000. So the value of 624 indicates that the progress is 62.4% complete. Additionally, we have put the text 624 of 1000 inside the progress element. This is something that you may see in older examples. In this case, the text inside the element will be shown if the element is not supported in the browser. Otherwise, it does not show up. Since HTML5 is now well established, this is not necessary. Opening this document, we see our progress bar with its label in front of it, and it is 62.4% full. In our third example, we include a progress element and a meter element for comparison. By default, both the progress and meter have values between 0 and 1. In this example, we have given both elements a value of 0.6 or 60%. Additionally, we have labeled these calculating and disk usage. Opening the document, we see the progress bar and the meter both 60% full. Notice that the progress bar is longer and blue, while the meter is shorter and green. This is the default styling. Also, the labels calculating and disk usage correspond to typical examples for these elements. A progress bar should only be used for things like a calculation that progresses from start to completion, while the meter is used to measure values that vary over time, like disk usage. Due to these differences in the nature of these two elements, the meter is considerably more complex, as we will see. Our fourth example contains several meters. We have set the min to 40 and the max to 200 in these meters, as the text indicates. Notice that the meter can have a min as well as a max. The first meter has its value set to 100, which will be 100 minus 40 divided by 200 minus 40, which equals 37.5% full. The second meter has no specified value. The third meter has a value specified that is below the min. The fourth meter has a value that is above the max. Finally, the last meter has nothing specified in it, including the min and max. Opening this document, we see that the first meter is 37.5% full. The meter with no specified value defaults to the min. The meter with the value below the min is set to the min. The meter with the value above the max is set to the max. Finally, the meter with nothing specified is set to the min, or an empty meter. In our fifth example, we have two more attributes, low and high. The low and high values are used to delineate a range of values that are considered ideal. The values in the closed interval low to high are considered ideal in this case. In the half-open interval min to low and the half-open interval high to max, the values are considered less than ideal. Opening this document, we see three meters with the values 60, 120, and 180. The values 60 and 180 are in the low and high intervals, which is why they are colored yellow to show that they are not ideal. The value in the middle meter is 120, which is between low and high, or in the ideal range, so its meter is green. Our final example adds in the optimum attribute. These meters are labeled charge and can be thought of as indicating the charge level of a battery. The optimum attribute is used to specify which of the three intervals, specified with the low and high values, should be considered optimal. By default, the middle interval is optimal, but the optimum can be used to override that. If the optimum value is in the middle interval, as it is in this first set of meters, then everything works just like the default, and values in the low and high intervals appear yellow, while values in the middle interval appear green. When the optimum is in the low range, as it is in the second group of meters, then the low range is considered optimal. In this case, the middle range is suboptimal and colored yellow, while the high range is considered dangerous and is colored red. In the final group, we keep the value constant at 90 and vary the optimum. Opening the document, we see three groups of meters. The first group has an optimum of 60, which is in the middle range from 40 to 80. The meters have values 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. So the middle three are in the optimal range and are green, while the first and last are in the low and high ranges, so they are yellow. In the second set, the optimum is set to 30, so it is in the low range. The values of the meters are 30, 60, and 90, which are in the low, middle, and high ranges. Since the low range is optimal, the first meter is green. The second meter is yellow, since its value is in the middle range. The third meter is red, since its value is in the high range. For the final set of meters, we have a value of 90 for all three, but the optimum is set to 30, 60, and 90. Since the optimum is in the low range and the value is in the high range, the first meter is red. The second meter is yellow because the optimum is in the middle and the value is in the high range. Finally, the last meter is green because the optimum and the value are both in the high range.